To Jimmy Carter, I hope someone shows this to you. I don't know if you remember coming to my house in Sheboygan, Michigan, many years ago, where I met you when you were running for president. You made a promise to my mother, who was the then chairperson of the party, who also helped arrange with the UAW and other unions in Michigan to have you speak at Cobo Hall. You made an indelible impression on my life, and I'm blessed to have met you, and I thank you for the times you took time for the kid who was from Sheboygan, Michigan. You helped me start my career at ABC. In 1969, I began in broadcasting. But meeting you changed my life, as many politicians did. But you made a promise to my mom. I think it was actually 76 you and I met. I'd already started at ABC at that point. But you gave me time for a personal one-on-one interview, and gave me many sound bites, which I used at AP, UPI, ABC, because at that point I had been working with several networks and was an independent contractor even way back then. You made a promise to my mom so I wouldn't go to Canada, because I had already contacted the Canadian ministry, and that was going into work as Brother Kurt Kelly on CKLW in Detroit, Windsor area. When I graduated from high school, because I was not going to be part of the draft. You made a promise to my mother that the draft would be repealed before I turned 18, and I would never have to register for the draft. And you did that. When I was touring North America and Canada on tour, you saw when we appeared in Washington, D.C. with my hometown choir and bands of Sheboygan, Michigan, and Sheboygan Catholic High. And you even arranged when we were out on tour in the Rockies with a different group for me and my mother to meet you at NORAD and see NORAD when you became president. Not that there was a misunderstanding, but it came to me and through back channels, and if it's true, I'd still like to talk to you about it if you can recall it. That in 79, back in that region when you were still in office, I was given this 2-week all-expense-paid trip, compliments of ABC Golden West Broadcasters, and to go from Detroit to Miami, and then from Miami to Belize to go on a 2-week windjammer cruise with a guest through the West French Indies and through the Panama Canal, and end up in, after going through Baja region and everything, stopping at each of these countries along the way, to end up in Hollywood for a party, and then fly back to Detroit and resume my broadcast with Golden West Broadcasters and the different shows and series I was voicing at Channel 50 in Detroit, WKBD. Now, with Bill Kennedy's Movies Next, and was also working with Golden West on Tower 92 FM and doing kids shows in the morning on NBC and WDIV, as well as Easter Seals, and I think MDEA did at was it Channel 2 CBS with Robbie Timmons and those people. Memory is, and Mort Krim certainly used to see the stuff at NBC and at ABC, which telethon did I do there? I worked at every network, and I even helped, and this was when I was 19, 20, turning 20 soon, to celebrate that I had 10 years working with every network on the planet at that point, which I had, AP, UPI, World News Tonight, PBS. I did the auctions on PBS in Detroit, and was honored to meet Dennis Holdy and many other people. I've had an amazing career. Thanks to you, I didn't have to leave the United States to make my mark on television and film around the world. Literally, thank you. But it did come to my attention when I landed in Belize to machine guns, machetes, and all the other stuff, that I was landing in a very different nature than I was accustomed to in the United States from touring North America, Canada, in vocal groups and bands. By the time I was 16 and even performing in D.C., as you may recall, at the National Shrine and numerous other locations while we were in D.C. The reason I'm bringing all of this up is I agree with you on nuclear buildup and atomic power and your concerns over 3 Mile Island and NORAD and Roswell and many things that I can't discuss here in depth, except to say that when I landed, they were ripping my stuff apart with machine guns and machetes, and I held up my press pass and said, hey, I'm with ABC, and that didn't go over well. And somebody tapped me on the shoulder and said, shut up, I'll get you out of here, I'm with the CIA. And when he said, hey, he's with us, they wrapped my stuff up like I was at a Hilton. About 15 minutes into a bumpy ride in a Jeep with my guest and the operative, I was taking the ship, and on the way there, I said, so whose bright idea was this? He said, ABC News, CIA, and the White House, based on your integrity and honesty in broadcasting for the last 10 years. Not to mention, I was the third generation of the White House at Camelot, and JFK and I are 3 days apart in birthdays, both triple Geminis, and according to numerologists, both 33 on the numerology scale, and I've been the voice of gods in video games, television, film, and God knows what else. The reason I bring all of this to you, Jimmy, is I hope that you will join me if you are around when we pull it off as a concert for world peace. As a humanitarian, you've gone around the world with your project to build houses and help people in need. I applaud you for that. May you and your family, Rosalind, and your son, Jimmy, and I think it was Donnell. I thought when I looked at Wikipedia, and if I've said that wrong, I apologize. I'm doing this all from memory in the dark late at night after being a victim of numerous violent crimes and numerous other complications as caused by my government. For you always telling the truth. I've served 3 life sentences in federal prisons in foreign countries on ridiculous reasons, and there's a country where I can no longer go back unless it's rescinded by 4 nations. I wish any of this was a joke or not true, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. May you be blessed for eternity, and I would ask if you can recall that kid, Joseph Edward Cronin, who became Kurt Kelly in 1969 professionally. That's why IMDb says I'm 10 years younger than I am, but according to records, I have also unearthed. In 1949, I was doing the project for CIA called Ink Stamp. I went back 300 use, which CIA uses today for social media extortion and programming and profiling, and for TIs and for assets and sleeper cells, etc. It's part of the CERN project. I know this is deep for anybody else who sees it, but obviously there's a lot of high-level intel here. Jimmy, I want to do a concert for world peace, and I need a lot of support. I'd like you to get a hold of current President Biden and the Vice President, Madam Harris, and let them know that it's certainly worth their time to sit down and take a meeting with me. While I am somewhat impressed by his diplomacy and how he's handled Russia with his conferences this week. And if anybody in the White House picks up on this intel, get this to Biden, do the right thing. And if you do see this, Mr. Biden and Madam Harris, we should arrange a meeting up by White House West, and you know what I'm talking about, on Venice Boulevard. And keep the fleas off my ass, and let me help you. It's time America repays some debts to the world. Chemical weapons of mass destruction should not be blamed on other weapons, other countries, other whatever. I've said a lot with that. The other thing I'd like you to consider is that if there's the full support that I'm going to ask for, there's a real upside for the world, for the American economy, and for diplomatic relations to preserve human life and to come up with solutions to global warming, which is real. Let's cut the bullshit. And to UFOs and UAPs and other things that we are alluding to in wrong and mysterious ways. There's no coincidence that I'm sending this out at this date and time. Mr. Carter, I wish you and your family eternal bliss and happiness.